Good morning and welcome to Love Every Moment, coming to you today from Fredericksburg, Texas. Today's verse is 1 Peter 5:5. You younger men likewise be subject to your elders, and all of you clothe yourselves with humility toward one another, for God is opposed to the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Now, Peter had been giving advice to elders, and now he's got one brief sentence of advice to younger men, and that is, be subject to your elders, as he's talking about humility. Now, I was saved at around 12 or 13, and I'm embarrassed to admit that after just a few sermons, I thought I knew it all about Christianity and became cocky and started spurting off to others as if I was some sort of expert. I wish I would have followed Peter's advice and humbled myself and listened to my elders. I would have been a lot better off. Then he says, and all of you, young, old, male, female, all Christians, clothe yourselves with humility towards one another. It's interesting that humility is spoken of as clothing that we wear, and that's what people should see when they look at us, is our humility. But even our actual clothing should be humble or moderate in itself. Let's look at a cross-reference. How about 1 Peter 3 and 4, which we covered over here? It says, your adornment must not be merely external, braiding the hair, wearing gold jewelry, putting on dresses, but let it be the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable quality of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is precious in the sight of God. Now, in some churches, everybody wears their Sunday best. There are even other churches that go beyond that and wear, shall I say, flamboyant clothing that really draws attention to the individual. That's not God's ideal. The attention should not be on us as individuals by flamboyant clothing or sexy clothing. It should just be moderate clothing, so all they really see is God's work in our life through humility and love. Let's look at another cross-reference. How about Colossians 3:12 through 14? It says, so, as those who have been chosen of God, holy and beloved, put on, that's where, a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Interesting, these virtues are not exactly always prized in Christian areas. For example, do we elect presidential candidates based on these virtues? Not usually. Let's say, for example, Harry Truman. Did we say, give him love, Harry? No, we said, give him hell, Harry. We want someone who's tough and arrogant and will crush the other side. And that's what we've been electing, at least in the past several decades. But wouldn't it be interesting if we actually sought after a candidate who was humble and loving and reached out to the other side? What would this country be like if, for example, we elected Billy Graham as president? It's just interesting to ponder, isn't it? Besides, it says that God gives grace to the humble and is opposed to the proud. And, that would also help our country as well, wouldn't it? Just a thought. Let's continue in our reading. Bearing with one another, forgiving each other, whoever has a complaint against anyone, just as the Lord forgave you, so also should you. Beyond all these things, put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity. I've gone to a lot of churches, and I just went this last week to a church that was quite Republican, and they made it clear because they launched on all kinds of attacks on Democrats and so forth. Of course, I've been to other churches that were very Democratic, and they can be the same way, well, in the opposite mode. And how is that showing love and unity? That should not be the way. It should be reaching out in love and humbleness. And really, our priority should be the Word of God. So let's go back to our main verse again. It says God is opposed to the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So if we are clothing ourselves with grace and love, we're going to practice unity in the church. And who knows, if we start with unity in the church through grace and humbleness, or love and humbleness, maybe it'll come to our country too. So let's choose to love every moment, because then we're going to love every moment. I'm your average Rich, and I hope you have a great week.